Hey, what's happening out there, YouTube? Hey, wanted to make a real quick video. I don't know how many of you caught KB Small Engine Repair, his live podcast there yesterday. Yours truly was on it, but anyway, not by design. Um, I was just flipping through. I was actually at the house in the big chair, just flipping through the channels, and thought, well, let me see what's going on YouTube. So I whipped it up, and they was on there, and I commented, and they said, hey, come on, but so I got on there for a minute, but I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Yeah, and it's just shout out to them two guys, Phil and KB. You know, they said that some of the reason that they started their channel was because they had watched mine and all that. And guys, that's humbling, man. Really, it is. Thank you for the compliment and all that. But these guys have so far surpassed me, man. It's not even funny. I don't know how long Phil's been on. Maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, maybe if that long. KB's only been on there maybe a month or two, and they've already got more subscribers than I do. These two young guys they're killing it, man. I mean, and Phil's real young. I don't forget what they said. He's mid-20s, I think. And I think Phil's probably in his 30s or something. But and if you're not, sorry, man. I'm just guessing here, but yeah, these guys are really getting it together and doing some good videos, helping some people out there. And I mean, guys, that's what it's all about, man. It's just trying to help each other out um, to start a business because it's not easy. So I just wanted to make a quick video, holler at if you guys, you guys that watch my channel and stuff like that, if you looking for somebody else's intake, input on it and things like that, go check out KB Small Engine Repair and Phil's. And Phil, I think Phil spells it Fill. Yeah, Phil Small Engine Repair. And check these guys out, man. I mean, they've got some really good content. And there's another guy out there too that started Andrew Small Engine Repair. Yeah, go check some of these guys out, man. You know, the more you can't get too much. That's like yesterday with just watching the podcast. I learned a few things. I don't know what the guy's name was, but he was on there, and he said he took pegboard and made like an A-frame with wheels on it, and he hung the tools that he uses the most on that little A-frame with the pegboard on it. I was like, darn, man, that's a pretty slick idea, guys. I mean, little stuff like that you're going to pick up that's going to help you in your business. They were talking about how they keep their toolboxes, and there's another guy on there that actually has did have a big dealership. I don't know his name either, or a big repair shop. I don't know if it was a dealership, but probably was. But he was on there and he was talking about some of the stuff too, guys. Some of these live podcasts, you're going to get to see some people and listen to some people that you've never even heard of, that and some of these guys have been in the industry a long time. I mean, they do a lot of this stuff. You take a guy like me. I worked in a dealership and that kind of stuff. But as far as running the business, I've done it for however long now. But I just pass on what I've learned, and that's all these other guys are doing. And when you got a guy that has done nothing but run a business or spin wrenches, however you want to look at it, for 20, 30 years, guys, you can't go to a school and learn what these guys know. You just can't do it. I know when I first started in the dealership, I had no school. My dad had trucks, road trucks, and I was pretty much a diesel mechanic. And get the chair over here. Darn phone's heavy, man. That phone's heavy. Getting old, ain't it, guys? I'm getting old, man, when the phone gets heavy. But my dad, he owned trucks. So when I was 13, 14 years old, man, I was tearing diesels apart and working on diesel trucks and stuff like that. So I thought, well, shoot, man, if I can work on, 80, 90, $100,000 piece of equipment, surely I can work on a lawnmower. Well, there was a big learning curve there. One thing I like about small engines is they are exactly what they say, small engines. big difference between replacing, a V twin engine other than a 444 air-to-air turbo Cummins, or putting in a transmission in a lawnmower and putting a transmission or a rear end in a tractor trailer, a big truck. So that's why I like the small engines. Everything's light, everything's little. Sometimes unless you got fingers like sausages, then it's not good when you get in the tight spots. But so that's where I learned to work on stuff, and hot rods, and working on cars. And guys, just a little word of advice: just because you can work on a car or a truck or a dozer or something like that does not mean that you can work on a lawnmower, and vice versa. You take somebody like myself or anybody, and you turn them loose on one of these new vehicles, and we're lost. I mean, I know the theory behind how our things work. A four-stroke's a four-stroke, but it's still all the little tricks and stuff like that. You're not going to know them unless you do it every day and you do it all the time. I've got friends that build hot rods. One is a real good friend of mine, and he builds like 30 model coupes, and he channels the floor man, chops the top, and put different front ends up underneath them, and does all this custom work. And I mean, turns out some beautiful work. But I think it was last summer he rebuilt the carburetor on a weed eater, a trimmer, and he had to call me. And I know that sounds simple to the guys that do this, but to a guy that's never opened up one of them carburetors, and he don't know whether he's going to get the diaphragm upside down. Did he put the gasket, stack them just right? Some of these carburetors you got to put the gasket down, then the diaphragm, then another gasket, or some of them and then you got two, and it's just different ways that you put them in there. And he couldn't quite get it back together right. So, but then, like I said, on the same hand, when I was rebuilding my Jeep, I restored a '76 CJ5, but when I was putting the wiring down through the steering column, I put a chrome tilt steering in this Jeep, a tilt steering wheel and all that, and it was raw. I had to put everything in it and get, well, I worked for about 3 or 4 hours trying to get the wires fed down through the column, and couldn't do it. And he called, I called him, and I was like, okay, man, look, I'm putting these wires in the harness, and they won't thread through. And he's like, oh, well, you do this and this and this. I did that, had it in there like that. And it was a trick. So these guys that do it all the time, they're going to know tricks, just like how we know tricks. I know sometimes we make it look easy, and then somebody that's watching the video, they get in there and they're like, oh man, that guy made it look easy, and now I can't get this in there. It's just because we do it all the time. You know what I mean? We just know what the trick is sometimes to get that bolt in behind there, or whatever, because we were where you was at, but we didn't have a choice whether to say, well, I got to take it to another shop. That's embarrassing. Have to take the equipment that you're supposed to be fixing to another shop. No, we just kind of stuck with it until we figured it out. And same thing with, like I was talking about with these other guys, these new guys that's coming on. I've learned stuff from them. KB and Andrews and Fields and all of them. I've picked up a few little things here and there. And I mean, of course, there's, the guru, Terrell out there. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. And most small engine mechanics will tell you the same thing. Terrell's on another level, guys. I mean, I've seen guys like Terrell in my whole, the whole time I've been doing stuff. But he's on another level. There's doing repairs, and like one guy that was on the podcast, he was talking about the difference between doing repairs and just being a parts changer. Okay, there's a lot of part changers in this industry, but what that comes from is the equipment that's out there now is not like the old equipment. It's hard to take something that is just totally destroyed and rebuild it back to specs. Plus, when you're running a business, is it cost effective with your time to spend 2 hours to rebuild a carburetor when you can buy that carburetor for 25, 30 bucks? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You're going to hit the customer for 2 hours of your shop rate, and then the price, the rebuild one, and it's still rebuilt. You're still going to have to put a kit in it. The problem is the kits for these carburetors cost almost as much as the carburetor. And some of this cheap stuff, now, y'all know me, I don't do a whole lot with Amazon, unless it's something, if you bring me a Troy-Bilt trimmer and it's about half wore out anyway, I'm probably going to throw an Amazon carb on it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on something like that. But I wouldn't go ordering gears for a transmission or a tiller or, that kind of stuff off Amazon or eBay. I wouldn't do it. It's other OEM. Now, if the part's been discontinued and you ain't got no choice, that's different too. But what I'm saying is, guys, is like that one guy that was talking about that, you can tell he knew what he was talking about. You're not going to beat that kind of knowledge. That comes from experience. You can never beat the experience. So if you're new to YouTube, if you're new to watching, these videos and like what we was talking yesterday, the reason that we all done this is because we started our channel, before we started our channel, we went to start a business, and there was nothing out there. There was nothing out there on how to run a small engine repair business. You can find it on lawn care, you can find it, other parts of the industry, but for that small engine repair shop, they might take you and give you a shop tour, show you some videos on how to repair stuff, but not actually how to run the business. And that's what Phil's doing, KB's doing, Andrew's doing, I'm doing. That's, and for them guys to say, because we watched your videos and stuff like that kind of inspired us to do it, guys, that's humbling, man. Thank you, but I didn't do it for any kind of thanks or anything like that. I just appreciate it. Everybody likes to be told they do a good job, and, people like what they're doing. But go out there, guys, and check them three guys out. Andrew's Small Engine Repair, I think is what it's called, and Phil's, Fill, and KB Small Engine Repair. And if I'm missing anybody, guys, I'm sorry. There's guys, Mick. Hey, Mick, what's up, mate? Gotta like old Mick, man. Mick's mowers, and gosh, I know I'm forgetting some that the Mower Medic, and guys like that, man. They're aces. No kidding, guys. Like I said, nobody shows the videos of the time that the wrench goes flying out in the yard and you done kick the doors open on your shop. you done throw the wrench through the side of the building. Nobody sees, nobody uploads or whatever, downloads, however that is, the videos. Nobody publishes the videos of the one that took them 2 days to fix, and then they're like, that was simple. You know what I mean? I could have had this fixed 30 minutes and it took me 2 days. Nobody ever shows those videos, guys. So when you see us, some of us knocking these things out, and in an hour or however long, and then you try it and it takes you twice as long, 3 times as long. It's just because we do it all the time, guys. But again, with that, doing it all the time, there is there's the knowledge there, just the tricks and stuff like that. That's all it is. I tell people all the time, you know what separates usually a professional from a shade tree mechanic? I've got tools that you don't. That's what it is. If me and you got both the same size hand, and you can't get your hand in there, then I can't get my hand in there. How did I do it? I've either bought a tool or made a tool to do that, and doing it all the time. So anyway, guys, again, I'm gonna get off here, man. I am covered up today. I've got way too much to do to be chatting, but go over, check out Phil, check out KB, check out Andrews, check some of these other guys out, man, if you're looking to start a business, because I can only tell you what works for me. Yeah, Phil can only tell you what works for him. KB can only tell you what works for him. Andrew can only tell you what works for him. But if you take 4 or 5 different people giving you input, and you kind of use all that information to start your business and stuff, you should be successful. If you can get 4 or 5 successful people that have started businesses, and you can and learn from them guys, you're ahead of the game. The guys that fall behind are the guys that think they know it all. Okay? I don't know it all, neither does Phil, neither does none of us know it all. Okay? We've all had our ups and downs. That's how I know when I tell you, oh man, don't mess with that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Well, the reason I'm telling you that is because, off the side, and made it too. The trash can's all the way back there. Bounced it off. Anyway, we've all had our ups and downs in this business, and we just have learned to roll with it. The biggest thing is this. Let me throw this out there, and I'm gonna get off here. This is small engine repair. If there's a lot of small engine repairs around you, or you see these little pop-ups or these little shade tree places, guys, just remember something, man. This is a game of survival. You got to outlast and outwit. It's just like didn't there used to be a show, something survival, and it was called Outwit, Outlast, or something like that? It's the same thing here. You just got to manage your business better, and you just got to hang tough and stay in there. Because the guy that's out here cleaning up carburetors and all that for like $10, he ain't gonna be there in a couple years. I can just tell you, at the most 2 years he'll be done. That or he'll up his prices. I mean, you cannot make a living doing that. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Listen, no matter what you do it for the glory of God, or it's not worth doing. Till next time, CNL's out.